I can easily control her moving around. It's really important that you keep this wrist on the ground underneath your forearm like this. Okay, so my number one and favorite attack from the 2-on-1 is a 2-on-1 snap down. If you watch any of my matches, I get this move pretty often and I love it. I always try it and it's a great setup. So we're gonna start out getting the 2-on-1. The opponent grabs a collar tie in this situation because I find that's more common. You're gonna get the 2-on-1, how you usually do. Hand on the tricep, start moving into your opponent. Other hand's gonna start grabbing the wrist, your head's gonna turn to the side, start peeling the wrist, keep your your opponent's arm close to your body, head on the opponent's neck, driving forward, arms on the shoulder, you're pulling your opponent down, pushing them forward at the same time. And now, I'm gonna get this tie that I really like from the 2-on-1. Your arm on the shoulder, it's gonna slide through underneath your forearm like this. And this is gonna apply a lot of pressure on the opponent's forearm, on the bone, and it's gonna be kind of painful and strong. So you're turning the wrist in, arm slides through like this. You're gonna wanna point your fingers up because that's gonna get the bone onto their arm. And from here, you just have a great lock. Now you can just move your opponent around and control them with this lock. And it's very strong and hard to break out of. It's just very strong. So here, one of my favorite things to do is a 2-on-1 snap down. So I got the tie, I'm in good position, pushing my opponent forward. And in order to do this snap down, I need to create some space. So I'm gonna take a step back with my lead leg, the one that's closest to her leg. And as I do that, I'm gonna create some momentum with my arms and whip her down. So very slowly, I take a step back, and as I do so, I'm pulling her arm down like a snap down. So take a step back, pull the arm down.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying this instructional video, this is only the tip of the iceberg. We have so much more instructional content on our website, app.athletesocean.com. Back to the video.
One more time. Get the 2-on-1 tie, arm weaves through, pressure forward. And it's important to put pressure forward because as soon as your opponent puts pressure back, it makes this snap down a lot more pretty, a lot easier to do. So pressure forward, your opponent pushes back into you, and then you take a step back, snap to the floor. And from here, it's really important that you keep this wrist on the ground or else you're gonna get into a pretty big scramble situation. So this arm on the wrist stays there at all times, pushing your opponent's hand onto the mat. You want to keep your feet up, so don't put your knees on the ground. That's going to take all the weight off of your opponent. So keeping your knees up, you're going to remove this weave tie right here. And this hand that was on the shoulder before, you're going to reach for the opponent's hip. Here, keeping this arm pressed onto the ground. And from here, you can circle behind and get to your attacks, whatever they are. But the whole time, it's very important to keep your weight on the opponent. If you take your weight off, your opponent will be able to back out, start scrambling. So one more time, now we'll get to a collar tie. I grab the tricep, start pulling it in, get my regular 2-on-1. And then from here, as soon as I notice there's some space, I can weave this top arm on the shoulder through, put some pressure on her forearm. It's not comfortable, it's pretty painful. And then from here, I can easily control her moving around. Start putting pressure forward, she puts pressure back into me, I take a step back, snap her to the ground. From here, I'm putting a lot of weight on my opponent. This hand on the wrist is pushing her hand into the ground so she can't move. And then this other hand that was on her shoulder that's weaved through, I let go, reach for her hip, circle behind, and get to my attacks. One more time, full speed. Collar tie, weave through, pressure forward. She pushes back into me, snap, and immediately circle behind.
If you guys want to master these positions and get better technically, there's way more of this content on app.athletesocean.com. Go check it out.